Hi there, beautiful human. It's Ros Loxton here. And my question for you today is, how good are you willing to let your life be? How good are you willing to let your life be? Really lean into that. Today, it is week 4 of month 6 in my Best Self Journal. And that is the essence of today's journal prompt. Month 6 has been all about the 6th chakra, which is vision, which is your perception, your filters, your insights, your intuition, what you see, how you make meaning of all of those things that you're seeing, your relationship with, how you trust, what is truth, what are you open to receiving, and what are you sending out? What is that radio station, that you your signals that you send out into the world, and what are you tuned into receiving? It's that whole beautiful nuanced understanding of you as a receptive being. And so this week, in week 4, it's kind of like a bow around the whole month 6. So I really do invite you to go to week 1 of month 6 and just have a look at the overview and of the flavor of this month in my Best Self Journal. Of course, I invite you to look at every week, every video that I make for each week of each month for the My Best Self Journal. It's how I can show up for you and give my support in a way that is affordable. It's not too long, it's not too big. It's just enough of a commitment to yourself that it's actually going to give you the absolute opportunity to let go of what doesn't serve you, to let go of the things that are not in alignment with you living your truth and your authentic heart and soul's purpose, and that is being your best self. And so week 4, this week, we're going to contemplate and reflect, which is journal, on the pure potentiality or the unlimited vision of your best self. And in one of the videos this month, I spoke about how it's the Olympics time, where you might be looking at this in years and years from now, but right now, in the time that I am, it's August in 2024. Even though I'm doing month 6, I started late in the year, it's the Olympics. And so there's, lots of Olympians being interviewed. And one of the things as a coach, as a counselor, as a therapist, as a human advocate for humans being their best self, I really enjoyed the part about, and this was not an uncommon story, where the athletes talk about their coach using visioning as a part of the tool that they absolutely stand by, totally worked in the process of training for gold at the Olympics. And it's that vision part. It's like they would vision themselves winning. They would vision what it looked like hitting that, finish line or touching the wall first if you're a swimmer, so I think it might be, I'm not quite sure, which week it was in month 6, but I just want to reiterate that the part of how we use vision makes 1,000% different into what we feel, what we experience as life. So I would like to bring your attention to what your intentions are for each day and how you use vision to manifest your life. What do you see for yourself? What do you see happening today? And I'm a musician, I'm a singer, and a part of my process of getting out of nerves and being hijacked by my stage performance nerves is to vision the audience loving what they hear, to vision the audience applauding, to envision myself singing that song the best way I've ever sung it, and really use vision to be your support, as opposed to non-consciously letting a negative vision or a fear of what you don't want to happen be what your vision is working with. You know, it works both ways. And when I talk about potentiality, we are absolute potential. And that potential works both ways. We've got potential to be bad, bad's a really bad word. We've got the potential to be low vibrating. We've got the potential to make ourselves sick. We've got the potential to make ourselves mentally tormented and unwell. We've got the potential to go bad, or we've got the potential to go good, you know, to use some fairly basic language. So it's about shining a light on, exercising and doing really conscious, deliberate living that activates the potentials that equal your best self. You know, turning on the potentials that are going to support you, as opposed to accidentally turning on the potentials that are not going to support you. So now we're becoming really deliberate about becoming your best self. We're becoming really deliberate about what are all the things that I do unconsciously that sabotage my best self. And that speaks about becoming really conscious, about becoming super aware of who you are and what your individual unique nuances are. Please jump onto my website, Rosalind Loxton, ROSLYNLOXTON.com.au, and on the front page jump on the free Human Design Body Chart quiz and go and get your human design. You need to know where you were born. You need to know what time of day you were born, and make sure you put in, if you were born at 6:30 a.m., make sure you put a.m. and not p.m. And that's going to give you a massive cheat sheet on your biology and your mapping and your blueprint. You know, you find out profile. I'm a 6'2". That means a role model hermit. Hermit means that people need to call out my genius, you know, because I have natural skills that I just think everyone's got, natural wisdom I just think everyone's got. And the way that that genius comes to the front is people call you out for it. And anything fabulous in my life, people have invited me and called me out and gone, can you do, and I'm like, why are you asking me to do that? You know, why are you asking me to sing in your band? I'm like, there's loads of other people that are way better singers than me. And this is the life of a two, right? Of a hermit, is they don't really see their own genius. They get called out by other people for it. So I love understanding this about myself. I love understanding that a role model is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm in the third stage of role models. That's a line 6, and they live their life in 3 core chunks, like 0 to 20 and 20 to 40, and then 40 onwards, or 50 onwards. And 50 onwards is where you become the role model. You've gone and learnt life in all of the ways you're going to learn it, and then you become a role model. And also I am a sacral, which means my authority is sacral, which means I know my yeses and nos. I've got energy for something. Yes, I've got energy for that. I can feel an energetic yes. Or I don't really have energy for that. Like, there's an instant sacral response of yes or no. I understand that about myself. I know how to read it now. So without babbling on too much, I highly recommend that you jump on my website, get the free human design chart, and at least get something, understand what your major authority is. You know, if you're emotional authority, you need to go through an emotional wave before you come to your best place to make your best decisions. I can make them quite instantly because I'm sacral. There are people that are a splenic authority, there are people who are mental authority, there are people who are ego authority, and all of those different authorities speak to you about what the best way to make your decisions and the best way to read some of the language of your own energy. You know, absolutely priceless, absolute life hack, you know, going and getting your human design blueprint. So putting aside the how for now, how do I do this? Just put that aside for now. Don't let that become a barrier to this. Putting aside the how for now, just have fun and dream big, okay? Get your fantasy on and describe your unlimited version of the vision of your best self, you know? And like I said in last week's video, notice your resistance. Resistance pinches off the flow. So there's a bunch of channels. You see that as lots of channels where you're sending and receiving energy. And we want to keep them open. Resistance will go and squeeze some of these channels and block you from some of the energetic flow that's going to allow you to be your best self. Who is that pulling up out the front? So put aside, how do I do any of this? Okay, how do I become my best self? How do I build the things that my best self wants? Put aside the how. First of all, we just need to get ourselves rolling around in the fantasy of the vision of winning gold, you know, being your best self. What could that possibly look like, you know? So really journal that out. Just wax lyrical, play, let yourself want, you know, and feel that it's a truth for you. If it doesn't feel right or true for you, then don't write it just to fill the page up. Tap into the little fires or the big fires that are burning in your heart and soul, and flame them, you know. Really let that flame get bigger, that are true nuances of your true self. What does it really, really look like? You know, let yourself fantasize. Now, don't worry about how to do any of that. You mightn't even do any of that, but it's an exercise in letting information flow back and forth, letting your muscles for envisioning and for allowing your true soul to talk to you. It's building that muscle. Now, again, if you notice resistance and you can't write something, like I'm not going to let myself say that really great thing because that's dumb, that could never happen. Please don't do that. Please be ridiculous. Just be ridiculous if you have to. Go really big with this. That's the exercise for today. I'm not saying keep it really realistic. I'm going, let it be big. You know, start there. Just have fun with it. I've got this exercise called the magic 2 minutes. Maybe you could try that. You set a timer for 2 minutes and then you write as many things as possible down that you would like to experience in your life. You know, whether that's in your career or in travel or in your personal or romantic relationships, any of the things, you know, what would you love to experience, like a bucket list type thing. And put the timer on for 2 minutes and really write out as many things as possible, thinking that it's a magic process, that the pen has got magic ink in it. So if you write it down, somehow the angels of the world are going to find ways to allow that to come into your life. So really play with this one. Write as many things down as you can. Don't worry about the how, just worry about having fun. Now, the second part of this always, how do I embed? How do I embody? How do I ground and, you know, make it real and tangible? The second part of this question is, where can I start to improve my perspectives and vision for any goal to support myself to live more from my best self's receptivity, from that radio station best self, okay, where the best self doesn't pinch themselves off, they don't abandon themselves, they don't make themselves small, they trust themselves, they esteem themselves, they're not narcissistic and you know, I guess unloving. They are just true to what is in their heart and in their soul, and in that, being true to that, then you're never going to limit somebody else by being your best self, which is a real sign here. It's a real indicator. Being your best self in no way undermines anybody else, shrinks anybody else, stops them from achieving their best life and their best self. It doesn't demean or belittle anybody else. Being your best self only ever allows opportunities for anyone else to be their best self. And when everybody is their best self, then our world is in its best incarnation. When you're your best self and you allow others to be their best self, it's kind of like a meditation I did last night where you imagine evoking all the love that you ever could need or want into yourself. I think about the love for puppies and the love for, all sorts of things that are easy to conjure up the feeling of love. But all that love you're receiving that makes you extra magic and extra healthy and extra happy, you are holding hands with people beside you, and that love, they are receiving that as well. And they're holding your hand, so the love that they are conjuring up from themselves, you're receiving theirs as well. That is what your best self is all about. It's about when you're your best self, you allow and encourage and become a conduit for other people to be their best self. That is how we live peace on earth. That is how we live miracles and magic and joy and bliss. And we get to have an incredible experience with each other, as opposed to the opposite, where we pinch each other off, where we resist other people from having flow and love and peace and bliss because we don't have it ourselves. Now, remember, if you know somebody that would be, I guess, a good facilitator, and even if they don't know it, even if you have to call them out for it and say, you know what, I reckon you'd be really good at this, it would be a good time in your life to hold a group where you facilitate a monthly catch-up, a monthly circle, where you all talk about your experience with the month that was. So if you were catching up for month 6, you would all get together at the end of the month. You would use this journal to prompt you and guide you as to how to hold the space, what questions to ask, what information to keep record of, and how to support people to get the most out of each month in their best self journal. And when you hold a group, you can do that face to face, you can do it over Zoom, but when you come together in a group of like-minded souls, like-minded spirits, like-minded humans, magic really does happen. Beautiful, loving magic really does happen. And like I say, nothing's a silver bullet, It's like forgiveness. You don't just go, okay, I'll forgive. It's not a one-time thing. We have to keep showing up for ourselves. We have to keep picking our lessons up. We have to keep dropping off our baggage. We have to keep doing it and keep doing it. But when we do it in a group of like-minded people, it is so much more powerful and loving and magical. So I invite you to become a group facilitator, or for you to find a friend or somebody else that you think would be an awesome group facilitator. And you decide how you want to run your circle, if it's free or if there's a fee for it. I don't get anything from that, other than everyone's going to need to have a journal. I get a tiny little weenie profit because mostly these books, when you order them, there's a print cost, and then there is a delivery cost, and then after that there is a weeny tiny little profit. And so I don't make a lot of money from this. So I just want us to spread the word, spread the love, and spread the my best self juiciness. Okay, that is week 4 of month 6, and I encourage you to really dig deep and get the most out of it, and to share with me what your breakthroughs and ahas are, what your resistance is. If you need support, then that's what I'm here for. Of course, we can hold one-on-one sessions where I can take you through your my best self, or take you through whatever it is that you're needing, where you find it a little bit hard to guide yourself. Then reach out and get yourself a personal coach. So for now, I wish you every big encouragement to reach that place of finding out how to get into the rhythm of continuing to support yourself to be your best self. And I send you big encouragement and big love, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye for now.